Nestled between sparkling lakes and cascading waterfalls lies the legendary Watkins Glen International. This historic circuit has long set the standard for road course racing in North America, a true test of precision, pace, and pure commitment. Tonight, the SRN Steel Graphics and Design Series takes on its toughest challenge yet. 50 grueling laps around the Glen, the lone road course on the calendar. Good evening, everyone. I am Emerson Arden, joined in the booth by Cody, and we're thrilled to be bringing you flag-to-flag coverage of round 5 of 12, live from virtual Watkins Glen, New York, on VIRacing.com, motorsport simulations platform. Last week at Texas, while I wasn't here, Cody was able to bring you the action last week with Jim, where Max Service claimed his second victory on the season, while Daniel Baldler was dealt heartbreak with a costly speeding penalty on pit road. But tonight, the script flips. It's the road racers' time to shine. As we approach the halfway mark on the season, who will master the twists and turns to seize this critical wildcard opportunity? Buckle up, it's time to go racing at virtual Watkins Glen International. And Cody, welcome to Watkins Glen, New York, here virtually, of course, on the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform. A beautiful area here in upstate New York, and a very fast and flowy circuit. The lone road course on the season, but not too difficult. 7 turns, bus stop chicane, and a lot of straightaway, a lot of 3 main passing zones, really gets into 1, the bus stop in turn 6, but really this track has been a mainstay, a staple on the NASCAR and the stock car racing calendar and many other motorsport calendars for the longest time, and it's just a very fun and a fan favorite pretty much for any motorsport here in North America.
Yes, it's actually really a good track, and to watch everyone pass at different times and just mastering the corners, because if you go off course, it impacts your day a lot. And because there's no cautions that come out, really, there's no saving your day. So it's on you. And 100%. If you don't do well, and it'll show.
So we are going to go ahead and gut ourselves into qualifying here as we're watching Max Service work his way around. This is coming out of the outer loop, if you will, the carousel there in turn 5. He's on his flyer lap, his second lap today. It's Daniel Baldler, who's currently top of the charts at a 113.462. Max Service at a 607. Here he comes into turn number 7 for the 81 machine. Max Service, the lone Canadian in the field, powers it to the line. Max Service, where will he go on the charts? And he will stay put. He'll run slightly slower by 5/100ths. Let's catch up with somebody who's really trying to set the mark. Dan Park here, trying to get his first career SRN victory. Let's ride on board.
Good corner out of exit.
So he kept it in 3rd gear there, did not grab 4th on the front straightaway. We'll see if that is able to carry some extra speed by not bogging the car down on the downshift. Keeps him in 2nd right there as he gets to the bottom of the hill. Now starts to work his way up the hill, nice and tight by the curbing there on the left side of the S's. Now coming out of turn number 4, still redlining as he gets to the top, to the crest in the 4th gear now. Down the back straightaway, looking for the meter board on the left-hand side. It'll be at the 500 where this 7 car will break, and so throw it into the bus stop chicane, left, then right, and then out again as he heads into the carousel. Careful not to tabletop it now as he works his way down to the inside curbing of turn number 5. He'll open up the throttle. He'll open up the steering wheel. Dan Park looking to put together a clean one here as he is now back into 4th gear, heading into turn number 6, braking there at the 400 now as he lunges the car to the left side over the exit curbing and now sets himself up on the left for the right-hander here, turn 7, missing the apex slightly. We'll see what the time is for the 7 machine.
I have to say, I've just watched that whole lap, and the amount of practice these guys put in, because not many people can go that fast. It's amazing what these guys can do.
That lap will put him 4th quickest in that 7 machine. Now, all 13 drivers who have showed up today have put at least 1 lap in. We're watching David Davis here. He wraps up his 2nd lap here as he comes off of turn number 6 into 7 for the 11 machine. He will straighten the 11 car out very sideways, coming out of 7 for David Davis. And he will place its 8th at a 1:14.67 for David Davis. So the last driver actually to set their 2nd lap time today will be the 7 of Daniel Park. So we'll see here. Dan looking to bring it around. That's turn 6. Nice and tidy. Doesn't even crest the exit curb in there. We'll see if that keeps those 4 tires all in contact with the pavement. Now out of 7. Very tidy. 4 to 7 of Daniel Park to the stripe. Dan Park will go. Top of the charts. 113.406 for Daniel Park in the 7 machine. And with no other drivers left to go in this qualifying session, it will be Daniel Park on the pole position for tonight's round number 5 from Watkins Glen International. Wow! The last lap time ran on the evening and qualifying will put it on pole for Daniel Park. How about that?
That was a really epic lap. Like, he pulled that off, and to get 113.406 being that fast, not many people can do that.
And we watched his first lap. We didn't watch his fastest, but we watched the first lap for Dan, and you saw just how smooth he was working his way around this circuit. He wasn't really putting any tire wrong. He wasn't overheating any tire. Or maybe some drivers will go on the aggressive early and they'll run their fastest lap on lap 1 and have nothing for lap 2 like some of the other front runners. But Dan maybe saved his stuff on lap 1 to really push for lap 2, and Dan able to show his might right there with provisional pole for the 7 machine now. So we'll see here actually one less driver, Jay King, maybe looking to run one last lap, or is this going to be his crossing the line to end it? We'll see here, but Jay King in the 19 machine has made his way out onto the racetrack. Not sure if this is going to count. We'll ride on board, or nope, that will not count for the 19 of Jay King. So the Team Apache number 19 entry, not able to get anything there. So as qualifying winds down, what you'll notice on the ticker on the bottom of your screen is the updated standings after race number 4. And coming into today's race, Max Service, the only multi-time winner in the Speed Race Network Season 8 Steel Graphics and Design Series. So you shall see if Max will hold station there before or after tonight's race here at Watkins Glen. Should be a fun one tonight here at Watkins Glen. 50 laps. This track, of all the road courses, probably one of the easier ones to kind of work with and kind of learn when it comes to NASCAR drivers. I guess what I should say is it has the smoothest transition from oval races to road courses as opposed to any other road course in stock car racing. I think maybe Sonoma's more technical, Coda very technical. Watkins Glen's a very flowy road course. So if you don't normally do road courses, I think Watkins Glen opens the door for you to learn road courses easier than most other road tracks.
That's very true, because I feel like you just can find your markers here easier. And like you were saying, it's not as hard as most other road courses. This one is easier. And a lot of drivers actually transition here quite well, like you were saying, and they enjoy it.
So here we are getting ready for the formation lap here at Watkins Glen, and that means we have our starting lineup to go through this evening. So we're going to go through our starting lineup for tonight's race, and momentarily looking for the grid. I've been out a week and trying to get my bearings right. Here we are, ready for the starting grid. On the front row, then it'll be Daniel Park in the 7 machine for Park Brothers Racing at a 113.406. Daniel Baldler will start second in that 6 machine. Max Service The two-time winner of this season, last week's winner, will start third, so not a bad starting spot for the lone Canadian in the field this evening. Ben Park, brother to Dan, will start fourth in that 17 machine. Lane Doyle, now a Park Brothers Racing product in the 47 machine, will start fifth. Bo Brady in the 8 machine will start sixth. Andrew Harris will start seventh in the 87, with David Davis starting eighth for FD50K. Joe Ruggles will start ninth in that 96 machine out of Team Apache. Jason Green will round out the top 10 in the 55. 11th will be Robert. Go for it.
11th is Robert Richardson. 12th is Jay King. And then you got 13th, and the final starter is Kyle Johnson.
Absolutely. And so that is the 13 driver field for tonight's race here from the 2.45 mile fast and flowy road course in upstate New York. And so very fun track, and we don't have maybe a track map graphic ready, but you know what we do know is there's again 3 main passing zones. If you are the faster car, Cody, what's the most attractive passing opportunity for you? Is it turn 1 with the extra runoff? Is it turn 5 with maybe a very technical corner and you maybe want to scare your opponent into making a mistake? Or is it turn 6, kind of the most neutral of the passing opportunities around this track?
I'm going to say turn 1. It's just, I don't know why, but it's so much fun trying to go down there and just pick them off one by one. It's just easier that way to pass people for me anyways, and that's what I enjoy. There's others that enjoy scaring people on the other corner. So yeah. It depends on what people like to do.
We want to give a shout out to some of our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Before we get going this evening, a huge shout out to, of course, Zozo's Miniatures, a home-based hobby and craft business that brings the small world to the big stage. You can check them out at zozominiatures.etsy.com and Instagram. Use offer code iRacing for 20% off of your purchase. I also want to shout out, of course, Thermopro. Thermopro produces the best wireless meat thermometers and digital hygrometers for household use. You can use code ThermoProtein to save 15% on your Thermopro order. Admin Box is built by iRacers for iRacers with the goal to be to make race control as easy as possible. You can use code SRN-box, that's BOXX, to save 10% off of your Admin Box order. And of course, Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. They have got the tools you need to compete with the best sim racers iRacing has to offer. Make sure you use code SpeedNetwork15 to save 15% on your order. So shout out to all of our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Also check out the YouTube channel, which is more than likely where you're watching us from this evening. Go and drop a like and a subscribe and hang out and chat with all the fellow viewers this evening of tonight's 50-lap event here from Watkins Glen International. And so rounding the final couple of corners before we get to racing this evening, it's Dan Park and Daniel Baldler, the front row. And so here we go. As Dan Park bringing the field up to speed. And green flag is in the air. Racing commences from upstate New York.
They all are entering the corner really good here. 2, 3 wide. Wow. They're doing really good. Made it through that corner. Going through the S's, they all made it through that clean. Okay, maybe. Going into the last corner to complete their first lap. going into their
One
second.
lap removed here from Watkins Glen International. It's Dan Park in second position. We got Daniel Baldler. Baldler had a fantastic start there to take the lead from the 7 machine. So Daniel Baldler trying to redeem himself from that late heartbreak at Texas with the speeding penalty, finding himself in the early prime positioning here at Watkins Glen. The first battle for position, we find ourselves here in that 4th position between Lane Doyle and Ben Park.
Yeah, I feel bad for Baldler last week. He was doing amazing, and that pit stop, that speeding penalty really hurt him at the end.
Daniel Baldler holding station out a third of a second up on Daniel Park, and it's Ben Park trying to find his way to the 47. They had a slight run-in practice, of course, they're teammates, but Ben now trying to put the pressure on Lane. Lane is one of those drivers who's going to really bide his time early, kind of conserve his tires, while maybe Ben is more focused on track positioning here. Working our way up front, Dan Park now stalking the rear end of the 6 Daniel Baldler. If we look back from the 6 machine now.
Yeah, we didn't think Ben Park, or the Park number 7 would go away that easily at this early in the race.
Baldler keeps it on the race surface side of the curbing. Dan have to kind of go towards the exit curve. Maybe that's a result of dirty air, but nonetheless, Dan really piling on the pressure on that 6 machine early, and Ben trying to get within striking distance of Lane Doyle. A look for the 17, but to no avail yet for Ben Park, and a very clean opening lap and a half, 2 laps, excuse me, here. No, lap and a half here at Watkins Glen. And no, that was 2 laps. I don't know what I'm talking about. But working to complete lap number 3 this time by fastest lap of the day goes to the 7 of Daniel Park. So cars 6 and 7 battling into turns 6 and 7 here at Watkins Glen, and it's Dan in tow of the 6 of Daniel Baldler.
I've noticed the 7 is gaining on him in corner exits on some of these corners, so he's going to be definitely one to watch near the end too.
See how aggressive Dan will take it. Big run through the center of the corner. We can put the power down easier. Looks like Baldler puts it down easier, but Dan puts it down and gains some momentum there on corner exit. And so now up the S's. Looks like Daniel Baldler has the number for Daniel Park through the S's. We'll see if Dan's able to close anything under braking here into the bus stop.
He sure does, because he took that last little corner. He took it way inside, so he's right there every lap.
Yeah, now Dan piling on the pressure on Dan. I guess they're both Dan now that I think about it. Daniel and Dan going at it now.
Oh, we got some
blocking. A moment over the exit, curbing out of the carousel. Park looking to make a move, stays in tow as we head into turn 6. But Daniel Park looking for a way around Daniel Baldler. Baldler putting on a great defense.
Number 6, he's overdriving because Dan's not giving him much room.
But Dan looking to go around the outside. Will he make it work? Baldler there, clipping the curbing. Daniel Park goes by on the left side around Daniel Baldler. They're not done now. They are. Park is clear to the race lead over Daniel Baldler. Oh my goodness, Max Service nearly clips the guardrail there in turn 4. We did have a car go off, and we'll see here in a moment. It was the 88 of Kyle Johnson. Big move here. This is Jason Green on Robert Richardson into the bus stop. Green down low, contact. They're still side by side. Green goes on through. Go for it.
Yeah, the fact that they made it through there after just a little bit of a connection, it shows how good these guys can race. So anyone should definitely go, if they're watching this and they have iRacing, should definitely think of joining this league. some of these, everyone here is best of the best here. So, just saying.
Big moments here between Doyle and Park. Park was closed. Doyle able to hold station. So while everything has taken a quick moment, we're going to take a quick look and see what happened at the 88 of Kyle Johnson. And so this, he went way off track here. Right here in the turn 7, just clipped some grass. Slows it down, and he'll be A-okay. But a scary moment for the 88 of Kyle Johnson. Battle continues here. Lane Doyle, Ben Park for the 4th position. We worked lap 6 of 50. They worked their way out in the carousel. Back up front, Daniel Park has opened up a 2/3 of a second lead over Daniel Baldler. So the field right now runs Daniel Park, then Baldler, Service, Doyle, Ben Park, Harris, Brady, Davis, Ruggles, Green, Richardson, King, and Johnson. The 13 entrants tonight. We're gonna ride on board with Ben and see how he finds his way past the 47. Looks like he's got the upper advantage right now, but just not able to make anything of it. Anyway, last lap, brother Dan just ran the fastest lap of the day. Baldler also ran his fastest lap, but not as fast as Dan's. So the top two are scooting away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, they're just in a class of their own here tonight. You can tell who has had practice and who didn't practice a lot, because it shows how they're doing right now.
In this battle for 4th here, Cody, it's between Doyle and Park, but they're slowly closing the gap on 2-time race winner this season, Max Service, in that 81 machine, and so this could quickly become a 3-car battle for 3rd if Max isn't too careful.
Yeah, and it looks like they're gaining on him right now as well. Like, he's off the track a little bit more. They're on the track, so they're going to get him by the next lap here, I think.
Oh, Carl, it's the 11 of David Davis. Oh, no, back into traffic. Oh, my goodness.
That would have been bad.
So a moment for the 11 of David Davis. We'll take a moment and see what happened. The 11 machine, and he just got way out there. We'll go back a little ways and see as well. But he went way out there. I have to go back a little bit, so we're gonna go back a little bit and find that moment for the 11 of David Davis, because he maybe missed that corner by a mile. We are with the 11 of David Davis, and just kind of overcooks it, goes over to curbing, and then I think he maybe went down an extra gear, almost got back into Joe Ruggles there, and then off the track for the 11. And Max, oh my goodness, been very bad. You're right, Cody. If he continued his way there, but
yeah,
so
you just
far
see
all
those
good.
cars coming back up.
Back in the battle for the 4th position momentarily is Lane Doyle, a half-second now over Ben Park. The top two, Dan Park and Daniel Baldler, and they have now opened up, well, Dan has opened up a 8.5 of a second advantage over Daniel Baldler. And everyone else kind of finding their own momentum. Really, again, the battle is for 4th position between Doyle and Ben Park. Ben trying to keep that 17 nice and tidy, waiting for Lane Doyle to make a mistake, but Doyle, not a driver prone to many mistakes. And so it is going to be a long wait if Ben is waiting.
Yeah, he might be waiting most of the night. Doyle is so smooth coming into the corners and out of the corners that he finds the exits really well. Well, that was way out there, so he's lucky that he made it back on the track as good as he did.
Yeah, Doyle being a little more liberating with the track limits than I think Ben even is, and it might be costing Doyle because he's going so far off the track, Cody. I think he might be wasting time getting back onto the track because he's so far off. We shall see.
That is the case.
We shall see if that pays dividends, excuse me, for the 47 machine or not. On board with Ben.
You can watch him right now, and he's getting loose from Ben's perspective as he's watching him in front of him. Doyle is just getting loose out of the corners.
Big run through the center of the bus stop for the 17, but looks like Doyle kind of has it through the center exit of the carousel.
Yeah, he cuts it like he goes a little higher than Park, and basically he comes down and cuts the corner a bit, and I think that's where he's gaining his speed.
Fastest lap of the day. Last lap ran by the 6 of Daniel Baldler. He ran a 114.34 to Dan Park's 114.71. And so the battle for the top spot not done yet. That time by lap goes to Dan Park. And so they are trading fastest laps. Also battle here between Jason Green and Joe Ruggles for the 8th position. Ruggles way off the pace. Green blows on by in that 55. Back here in this battle that won't go away. Doyle trying to hold station, excuse me, over the 17 of Ben Park.
So far, well, this corner he's catching back up to Doyle.
Doyle really lets it hang there out of the carousel. Ben really likes to eat there. And now really eats under braking, but Doyle very smooth on exit. You'll see Doyle run away here, going down the front straightaway.
It's a cat and mouse game right now.
Certainly is. So Ben trying to get a little bit better at exit. He can really eat on corner entry, but he's got to translate that into some exit momentum for that 17 machine. Right now, Lane Doyle maybe using a little slower than Ben, but he's got the exits nailed down, which is huge.
It is, and I'm wondering because you can see how loose Doyle is getting coming into the corners and out of the corners as much as he has. How much tire wear is that going to be for him as well? That could impact him tonight.
Very much. I don't think Doyle's overrunning those rear tires, but he certainly looks like he's using more than Ben. I'm not sure where it'll translate through, and it might actually be, you know, the difference in maybe where they come out of pit lane and who has clean track from there. And we shall see. Also, with road course stints, depending on how good your tires hold up, you could, in theory, and I'm not saying these drivers will or won't, but you could, in theory, think about doing fuel-only pit stops if your tires hold up. Now, I don't know Watkins Glen's quite the circuit for that because of how much forward bite you need off of some of these slow corners, but it is an option you definitely look at, especially in endurance racing, which Watkins Glen, you know, does hold the 6 hours here, and it's something, you know, drivers will consider double and triple setting tires. Of course, the endurance tires come up with different, you know, chemical makeup than, you know, stock car racing tires for many different reasons, the weight and the race length. But still shouldn't be a foregone conclusion that these drivers are always going to take tires.
Right. He was right on Doyle too, and then that last few corners he backs up, but that's a, oh no, he's out there again. And Park followed them this time, so I think they're both experimenting here.
And they certainly are. Keep our tabs on that battle. Things also tied up front. Daniel Baldler continues to close the gap on Daniel Park. Tight now. Now Baldler backs out, maybe trying to get a nice exit. Daniel Park kind of overslows the entry now. But nice exit for Park, actually better exit for Park than Baldler. I don't know, Baldler maybe have to check up. But they are getting tighter and tighter now, as opposed to maybe, we'll see if Dan can get this, you know, pace advantage. He actually currently does not have any pace advantage over Baldler or Max. We'll see if he can hold station, hold track position anyway. As we get, you know, further into the stint, we're gonna start thinking about when they're gonna make tire stops, and then Daniel misses the apex, Park that is, misses the apex, the second apex of the bus stop, and here comes Baldler.
That was a clean bus stop for Baldler
Sure
there.
was for Baldler.
And
Park trying to make the most out of it, but he made that costly mistake. And now, feeling the pressure of the 6 machine nearly into the rear end is Baldler. So they nearly come together. Park holding station now. Baldler, this is maybe the one corner where Park has Baldler's number, is down here in turn 1. Looks like Park just gets out of here much better than Baldler does. But the rest of the track, Daniel Baldler is eating up Dan Park.
he sure is.
Battle on track here. Whoa, big moment there. Andrew Harris under attack from Bo Brady. They'll go side by side up the S's. This for 6th. Still side by side. They go side by side all the way up the hill, nearly into the guardrail, both sides, nearly into the grass is Brady. They nearly come together as they head now down to the bus stop, still side by side. Wow. Oh, Harris sideways, Brady through the grass. Big set
They're
for
not
the
done
A.
yet.
Oh my goodness. Getting after it here for the 6th position. Harris and Brady hungry for that spot. Harris holds station for now, but wow. That was fantastic driving up the hill. Not done. Here we go.
And it's going in the side. Oh, he didn't get it. Okay.
Didn't get there, but he's not done. If he can get the forward bite out of corner exit, powers down on the 8 machine. Harris and Brady continue to duel here at Watkins Glen. Big send, Bo Brady. Over the inside curbing, can't get the power down the 8. Harris a little wide on the rejoin. Wow. This is some fun stuff. Oh, Joe Ruggles in trouble. Joe Ruggles has made contact with the turn 1 tire barrier. And David Davis, I'm not sure if he's a part of it, but Joe, big damage for the 96 machine. That thing is not turning.
It is definitely done.
So the
I'd love to see what happened though.
Team Apache 96 will head back to pit lane, and we'll take a moment and see what happened to the 96. Joe Ruggles here in turn 1, all by himself. And you know,
I don't know why he locked it up.
Look like maybe an equipment failure because he slowed down, but the car did not turn. And Andrew Harris has had a moment, so we'll take this on board and then we'll catch up to Andrew Harris live. One last look at the Joe Ruggles incident. Not entirely sure what happened to the 96. Now Andrew Harris is in trouble. Let's see what happened to the 87 machine of Andrew Harris battling with Bo Brady. Oh my goodness. Oh, Mo. Oh, my goodness. They come together off of turn number 7, and Harris gets the worst end of it. And they continued to duel around this track. We'll go back to where they were battling. This is Harris. He runs wide in turn 6. Brady comes up and tries to make the overtake around the outside of 7. They make contact. They've been making contact this whole battle, Cody, and then Brady was done with it. Just didn't even lift. He really didn't even change his line. Just kind of drove through the 87 and said, you know what, I'm done with it.
Yeah, he just didn't want to be nice about it anymore.
Harris, and you see the left front tire not turning. That car is done. Take one more look at it.
I mean, they were battling really well before that, and there was contact, but you can only have contact so much before the other people just don't want to keep going.
See right there. Wow. Big hit for the 87 of Andrew Harris. That left front tire not doing much for him now. And gonna go back to the live action. Well, Brady finds himself in a battle again, this time with Jason Green. We'll see here.
Brady is having lots of battles tonight.
He's having a very, not even chaotic, just a very entertaining race.
Hey, he's making it great for us up here, so we're great.
Certainly.
More action, the better.
So for Bo Brady, now in the 6th position after all that. Joe Ruggles and Andrew Harris, looks like they are both, well, Joe Ruggles is still in the session. Andrew Harris is not. Pit lane is the 11 of David Davis. Is this our first pit stop of the day? And it looks like it is. So here we go with the pit cycle, Cody. We'll see where the 11 of David Davis comes out in relation to everyone else. Being the first one to pit lane, we'll see if he takes tires as well or fuel only. And we'll come to rest in the pit box, the 11.
He's taking 2 right now for sure.
Taking 2, maybe 4. And it'll be 4 for the 11. So we'll see if that's the mark of what's going to continue to happen here. And Watkins going to sit down and away. The 11 of David Davis. Back up front, Daniel Park has opened up a 1.8 second lead over Daniel Baldler. There's Baldler in 2nd. Max Service still sitting tight in 3rd. Lane Doyle and Ben Park have both lost a lot of time to Max. So Lane finds himself in 4th, Ben 5th. Well, Brady under heavy attack here from Jason Green in this battle for P6. This one won't go away. Nearly into the grass there. He was into the grass. Jason Green was trying to find a way around the 8 machine. So Green and Brady dueling battle for the 6th position now. And Brady has already had a very physical battle tonight. If he'll have another with Jason Green. So Green, big run now out of the carousel. Looking to close the gap on Brady. Another battle brewing, this one for the 9th position. Robert Richardson and Jay King battle it out for 9th, so we'll keep tabs on it. Looks like it got close again between Green and Brady. Big run, Green trying to dive inside. Can he get the runoff? Trying to get there, Green is close, sideways as he enters the S's. Big run up the hill for the 55.
To the inside, he's inside right now.
He got him. Big Sen Jason Green, it'll pay off.
He
Also, in
waited
that
for the
same
right
breath,
moment.
King got around Richardson, and Daniel Baldler is in from third.
Interesting strategy for Baldler.
So he pits shy of halfway. We'll see if this is the undercut he needs to get around Dan Park. So Baldler comes to stop in the box. Four tires for the 6 machine. And down and away for the 6 of Baldler. We'll see if this brings in the 7 of Daniel Park. My guess is, even though he is racing Baldler heads up, I think if you can't, or if you have to, go to halfway if you're Dan Park. We'll see what he does, though. He is the driver, and I'm in the booth for a reason.
I would honestly wait.
He's coming in now.
Gone.
So the Canadian Max Service in what will double as a home race, or the Nova Scotian will take the race lead. Into the box is Dan, and this will be intriguing to see where he comes out in relation to the 6 of Baldler. Down and away. Now looking now, where does the 6 come out? There is the 6 on the racetrack. Dan gets to cut turn 1. They'll be racing heads up on pit exit. Baldler has the spot over Park. This is going to be huge. Dan Park now has to chase down the 6 of Daniel Baldler and get him back. Also, Ben Park has hit the pit lane and has come off. So there's Ben. Jay King has also entered the pit lane. And now the leader, Max Service, is in. So Lane Doyle will take the race lead as Max Service trickles down the pit lane with Joe Ruggles. And that was huge. Baldler getting ahead of Dan Park. That could be very pivotal. There's Max coming out, down and away as Baldler and Park leave turn 1. Fastest lap of the day ran by the 6 of Daniel Baldler. Daniel Baldler has just ran a 1:14.04. Absolutely booking it. It is the 6 of Baldler. There's Jason Green, Bo Brady, Kyle Johnson on the pit lane. Lane Doyle, we'll see if he can make it, but now everyone is pitting shy of halfway. Here comes Lane Doyle. We'll see if anyone's able to stretch the fuel now, or if anyone's going to come in for a splash. So Doyle comes in. This is going to be 1 lap shy of halfway for Lane Doyle. So Doyle, if anyone's going to make it, has the best chance. He's only got to save 1 lap of fuel if fuel becomes the issue. So there's Doyle.
I believe they can make it on fuel.
It's gonna be close, right? Because we haven't even actually finished a halfway lap yet. Fastest lap of the day, Daniel Park has just ran a 1:13.32. I think that's faster than the qualifying lap.
If you just said 3.2, yeah, it's faster by 0.2. Or no, not 2/10.
Almost though. Almost a 10th actually. But Baldler and Park will duel again. This time by will be halfway. Cars 6 and 7 battle into turn 6 and 7 as we head into lap 26 this time by. Baldler and Dan, Baldler and Park going at it for the top spot. Baldler will hold station through turns 6 and 7, and onto the front straightaway to start lap 26 is Daniel Baldler. Where Lane Doyle came out of the pit lane, the last driver to pit there, Doyle, he comes out in 5th behind Ben Park. So that is huge. Ben does get around Lane Doyle as a result of the pit cycle. And Max Service has just ran the fastest lap of the day. So hold the phone. Hear this, Cody. Max Service has just ran a 113.12. Oh my goodness. Did I say this doubles as a home race for the Nova Scotian? Because he is on it. And so Max Service, should anything happen to Baldler and Park, is going to be right there. And Service is closing the gap big time. Within 2 seconds now for the top two. Service still running half a second quicker than Park and 0.8 quicker than Baldler. Moment for Jason Green as he had a off-track moment. I guess would be back off the carousel. Quick look at it for Jason Green. He was right there off of 6, nearly caught the wall. Gets some grass on the tires, wipes them off, and he'll be a-okay. So there's Jason Green now, no problem. Baldler way out there. But again, every moment these two battle, Max Service continues to eat chunks out of the lead that Baldler and Park have over Service. And so what was going to be a 2-car battle might just become a 3-car battle soon enough. So Baldler, Daniel Baldler still holds the lead in station over Daniel Park. Max Service is in 3rd, Ben Park 4th, Lane Doyle 5th. Then it is Robert Richardson in 6th, Jason Green 7th, Bo Brady 8th, Kyle Johnson 9th, David Davis the top 10. Jay King still running in 11th, the last car in the lead lap, and then the 19 of Jay King. Sat in 12th is Joe Ruggles. He finds himself 9 laps down. Andrew Harris is 13th. He is now out of the race. Big moment there. Looks like Baldler missed the apex and Park drove through it. And Max Service continues to eat chunks out of these two's lead that they have over the Canadian. Now he'll close into some dirty air, and Joe Ruggles has crashed off of turn number 6, right where the leaders are coming. So Ruggles backs way out of the way. So not a good moment for the 96. We'll see if he's able to get it back to the pit lane. He's right there in front of the leaders. And so we'll take a look at what happened to Joe Ruggles momentarily, because the battle for lead just won't go away. Max Service is within a second of these two, running half a second quicker than Baldler and Park. Now Park looking to get around Baldler if he can. I think he knows he has to, because Max is closing the gap. And this is about to become wicked here in Watkins Glen. 22 laps to go. Baldler leads Park and Service down the back straightaway. Now equidistant from one another.
Service is definitely going to come back, and I'm sorry about that. I was just having a fatherly moment, so...
No problem. The battle continues. Then at Watkins, Glen, Baldler, Park, and Service, you're right. Service is here. He is ready to go. Should Baldler and Park slip up, Service is there, and in a lap or so, he might be more than there.
Yeah, I heard what you were saying. He actually had the fastest time of the night.
Oh, yeah. He is absolutely on it. So we'll see now. Now he's closed up. He's gotten some dirty air from the top two now. Park not able to find a way past Baldler yet. And that time Max comes down to earth a little bit. He actually runs the same time as the top two. So now he's matching the top two. We'll see if there's any advantage left in the 81 or if he used it all trying to get up here.
It'll be interesting to see, but with all this dirty air, it's not going to be easy for anybody behind Baldler. So, and we have 55?
This is the 5 of Richardson pitting. And I don't have any record of him pitting before, so this could be his first pit stop. And now I have to think maybe that everyone else is working to race backwards. And he was trying to go as long as he could. So back up front. We still have Joe Ruggles' crash, the second crash of the day to take a look at. But we'll do that after we get through this battle for the top spot. That is now 3 cars deep. Max Service now within 7/10 of Daniel Baldler. And Baldler kind of holding station out in front. Maybe he's trying to hold station and try to save some fuel, because he is kind of blocking the entire racetrack with only his one car. Park can't find a way past, and now Service is riding in the gearbox or of the rear end of the 7 machine.
None of these guys in the top 3 are saving fuel at all. Doesn't look like it.
Certainly, but Baldler does not look like he has the get up off the corner that the 2 behind him does, yet he's holding the lead. And so, not sure where Baldler is intending to go, or if he's just saving fuel, or saving tire, excuse me, maybe, to continue to battle these 2. But Service has a moment there in the carousel, loses a little bit of touch. Big run here, Dan Park, trying to find his way past the 6.
Six is definitely not going to let him by easily, so
certainly
this is
not.
going to be a good battle.
Track position huge. Baldler and Park continue to fight for it. Service right there as well.
The Service is waiting for is for these 2 to battle it out and possibly have a moment and cause each other to have wrecks or just go off track, and he'll be capitalizing on that.
Yeah, I think if they get physical in any sense, I think Service is ready to pounce. But looks like the gaps have opened up a little bit. We're going to take a quick moment and take a look at what happened to Joe Ruggles in a 96 machine. And so here's Ruggles, once again, running all by himself. And he had a moment here in turn 6, overcooks it. Maybe just a little bit of a wheel hop, and then spins and stops there in the center of the track. And he knew that the leaders were coming, so he jammed it in reverse, backed it out of the way. And then you saw where he rejoined. He rejoined there as the leaders were coming up behind, and he stayed to the, rightmost side as he could. But wow, that could have been something if there was any traffic in by. So Ruggles, very lucky with where all this happened.
Yeah, that could.
Here we go now.
Oh.
Dan Park under attack from Max Service. The teammates dueling one another, and I'm not sure if this is the best use of resources for the team. If they battle one another and allow Baldler to open a gap, I don't know if either of them are going to catch the 6.
Not if they keep battling.
We shall see. Right now, Baldler has opened up a 1.2 second advantage, and Joe Ruggles has rejoined the track. He's off the track.
Yep.
Joe Ruggles having a struggle today at Watkins Glen. There's Baldler, 1.3 second advantage. Dan Park gotta put his head down here if he wants anything to do with the 6 machine.
Yes, and if you're Ruggles, it's so. If you're having a rough day at a road course like here, or even in general at a road course, it just like the going off track. It just magnifies your bad day, and it doesn't get any better.
"17 laps to go from Watkins Glen International. And Daniel Baldler is your current race leader, heading station over Dan Park, Max Service, Ben Park, Lane Doyle, Jason Green, Bo Brady, Kyle Johnson, David Davis, Robert Richardson, Jay King, Joe Ruggles, and Andrew Harris out of the event in the 13th position. Now Baldler opening up a little bit of leg room now. 1.2 seconds, the advantage Baldler has. And you see now that he doesn't have Dan breathing down his neck, he's able to take the carousel, or excuse me, the bus stop very flowingly and doesn't miss any apex, hits his marks all nice and neat. But Park, he closed up 2/10 just in the bus stop and carousel. More than that, almost 3.
Yeah, that is his favorite spot so far on the track. He seems to do really well there.
Certainly seems like it. So you see as Baldler tries to fend off any more advances from the 7 of Daniel Park. Max Service, one look at one other battle on the track. There it is, David Davis and Robert Richardson. This is for the 9th position. This is about 1:08 behind the leaders, and about to be lapped is what's going on here. Ruggles hits the pit lane. That 96 Team Apache entry. "16 laps to go from Watkins Glen." Let's see just how smooth Daniel Baldler is being with this car.
Really good steering through that corner. In the final corner, he's got his line down.
He's doing a little counter steering just because of the age of the track and the weight and the high horsepower of the car. But for the most part, he's got this car under control, not really letting it slip too far. And as I say that, Dan has really closed the gap now, and now Baldler's approaching some lap traffic. This could be huge. Lap traffic being a factor with the leaders closing. We'll see what happens as Jay King finds himself right in front of the 3 leaders.
I wouldn't want to be
Davis right at the track. Also just went off the track. Oh, this could be huge, Cody.
It is. Lap traffic causes lots of issues, and they got around them, but not
Big
hard.
run. Dan is there, excuse me. Dan on the right-hand side of Daniel Baldler. They'll be side by side in turn 6. Baldler, great defense. Does Dan do anything with it? Nose to tail, the top 3 within half a second of one another. Big run now.
Helped.
It certainly did help Dan. Baldler trying to put the power down now. Max and Dan both smell blood in the water from the 6 machine. And you see Baldler now having to do some corrective steering there over to turn 1 curbing. Dan is there.
And what I've seen ahead of Baldler is there's more lap traffic ahead.
Yes, sir. 2 more.
This is going to be a tight battle if they can get by them, and we'll see what happens with these lap traffic if they stay in the way.
Some fantastic racing has been on display all race long today, Cody. 14 laps to go. The top three within 1 second of one another, and lap traffic starting to enter the picture. I don't think we could have written this any better. Some fantastic racing.
It is, and you can't, like, it's been one thing after another, and that doesn't usually always happen at road courses, so it's been a fun night so far.
See here, everyone can see one another within the 1 second. The top three are. The next car up the track is David Davis. Apologies for that there. We are back and still in it. Daniel Baller holding station now over Daniel Park and Max Service. There's a slight interruption in the system, and we are A-OK. 13 laps to go. What we got left here, Watkins, Glen, Dan. Big run through the bus stop. Now through the carousel. Nose to tail. Jason Green has crashed. The 55 machine off of turn number 1. We'll see if we get a moment to take a replay from Jason Green. Off the track, the 11 of David Davis. This could be huge as the lappers close the gap.
Well, hopefully the lappers know that the lead cars are there and will give them space.
Oh my goodness. Davis has a moment. Baldler has to check up. Big run. Dan Park now. Dan is there. He looking to the left side. Now on the rear end of the 6. Up the hill they go. Oh, Dan catches a little dirty air up the top of the hill off of turn 4. Dan gets very tight at the crest, and he's not able to keep that momentum through.
Didn't have as good of an exit either.
Certainly not, but still 12 to go. Anything can, and more than likely anything will happen. One more lap. The vehicle directly in front of the leaders is the 5 of Robert Richardson.
Service is right there right now.
And he's a teammate. If Max is smart, he's going to let Dan try to give it all he's got. And if Dan has no more, Dan's got to realize that his teammate behind him, maybe let him through, see if maybe the team can get a win out of this instead of both of them fighting for second.
That's a good strategy. Now, hopefully that, yeah, let's see what happens.
So 11 laps to go. Daniel Baldler, I got to say, has been doing an absolutely phenomenal job defending. Absolute defensive masterclass from the 6 machine of Daniel Baldler to this point.
It sure has. He's held off Park for a while now, so, and I feel like he's led probably the most laps tonight too.
Certainly, we can actually take a look at that. And Daniel Baldler, he's led 20 laps tonight, so it's supposed to Dan. Led 17, so Baldler has for the moment. Oh, Dan, a moment, he goes off the track. Oh, Dan misses the corner. Oh, that could be huge. Right as Baldler catches the lap traffic. If Dan was there when the lap traffic, and the lap traffic's still ahead of Baldler for what it's worth.
Yeah, he's there. It doesn't look like it's slowing him, the Baldler down very much at all right now.
See, now he's going to try to get around.
And he's around.
And he'll get around Richardson, but Richardson now finds himself in between Butler and Dan Park. See if it hinders Dan any to the bus stop. Dan powering down, trying to get past the 5. The 5 understands, he gives way. And so Dan trying to power on through. So now Dan trying to see if he can make turn 6 this time. He had a big run and just didn't slow down in time for this corner last lap. That time much more tidy from the 7. Butler holds station. We'll take this moment. Joe Ruggles has had another crash of turn number 1. So we have a couple incidents to look at. First we'll look at what happened to the 55 of Jason Green once we see Ruggles is up to speed. So this happened a few laps ago to Jason Green. With 12 laps to go in the race. Green all by himself. Kind of loops it around. Lane Doyle had an off. This was, I believe, here off of turn number 4. It's very wide and catches some grass there. We didn't have Joe Ruggles just have his incident right now in turn 1. Gets over the curbing and then slides. And then if we continue watching, Ruggles had another moment. So we'll stay with this this replay.
It just looks like he's struggling.
Trying. Had another moment as he came around. Looks like he did get it up to 96, and so back up front, Daniel Baldler has a 1-second advantage over Dan Park, and Max Service 3/10 behind his teammate, trying to best support the 7. But for how much longer does Dan have any advantage over Baldler, and how much longer does Max just sit put behind his teammate before he says, hey, let me have a chance?
Hopefully not long, because the laps are winding down.
Off track for the 5 of Robert Richardson. That was in the bus stop. 9/10 the advantage Baldler has over Park. Park closes there, but again, Baldler just has such a good exit here out of 7 and out of 1 that anything Park does gain through these corners, Baldler quickly regains. Max catches the wall there in the dirty air of his teammate. 7 laps to go. Once again, Baldler. Fantastic. It's a very sideways there as he puts the power down out of turn 1. And you'll see he loses a couple tenths because of it. And so we're not done yet. That could have been a very costly mistake for Baldler. He allows Dan right back in.
It can be, and I believe it's just a matter of time before the 3 of them are close together again.
Not as tidy of a bus stop from Baldler. All of a sudden, Cody, Dan is there again. 2
He
little
sure
mistakes is all it took, and Dan Park is right on the rear end of the 6.
He's going to let the 6 know he's there, too.
Here he goes, trying to look to the right side. Not able to do anything there. Dan backs off, tries to signal his exit out of the 7 machine. Now they set up for turn 7. Baldler, great dive on the entry. Great run through the center for the 7. Big run now. Dan on the rear end of the 6. Baldler putting the 6 in the middle of the racetrack. Goes defensive. Oh, contact! Max gets into Dan. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
That's not good for him at all tonight.
For either of them. The teammates take each other out of contention. And there was a lot of mind games going on. We'll slow it down a little bit. We saw most of it live. So you see here, they come across the line. Dan goes to driver's right. That's opposite of what we're looking at, obviously. Balder goes to cover it off. So Dan slows down early, backs off to try to get the advantage. Max doesn't see that Dan is braking early and runs right into the back of the teammate. And Max also gets some guardrail damage in the 81 machine. Oh my goodness. So all that, Daniel Baller now smooth sailing with a 4.8 second advantage. There's the 7 of Daniel Park. There's the 81 of Max Service. In what was just right there, the Park Brothers Racing Disaster class in the turn 1 at Watkins Glen. That is not surefire, but has almost assuredly let Daniel Baller walk free with this one. As now both the wounded Park Brothers Racing machines try to finish this one out.
Hey, Emerson?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to step away.
That is A-okay.
Just for tonight, I apologize.
That's A-okay. Daniel Baller continues to lead here with 4.3 seconds. The advantage here at Watkins Glen. Daniel Park finds himself in second. Pole sitter tonight. He led 17 laps tonight. Daniel Baller, who's led 26 and counting. Max Service in third. The 1 lap he led tonight. Ben Park in fourth. Heading Lane Doyle. This battle here. This one not done. A little bit of a slip for Ben as Lane Doyle closing the gap now for fourth. All over the rear end is the 47 as he tries to find a way past the 17. Ben way out there. Doyle out there as well. They are really using the full extent of the track. Doyle now, big run. All over the rear end of the 17. Up the hill they go. 3 laps to go from Watkins Glen. Ben going defensive. Doyle there trying to find his way past. All of them all over the bus stop. Big run for Doyle. Out of the carousel, and this time that'll be 2 laps to go. Does Doyle have enough to find a way past Ben? Close now. Doyle there, but not able to make much of it. And Doyle, a lot of rear grip loss in that 47 machine as he's dancing up the hill, trying to contend that 47 car. Not sure how the handling in that 47 has dropped off so far. One thing I do know, Daniel Baldler, a fantastic drive tonight, as at this point he has led 29 laps and he'll lead 31 if he can come back around 2 more times. For the 6th car of Daniel Baldler. One lap to go from Watkins Glen for Daniel Baldler, trying to get his first win on the season. He would join David Davis, Andrew Harris, and Max Service as winners this season. The 6th of Daniel Baldler. Has done everything right, perfectly positioning his car for the others to try to find a way past. It was 2-on-1. Baldler versus the Park brothers. And Daniel Baldler worked his way out of the bus stop. Very nice and neat. Barely using any exit curbing out of the carousel. Not taking any chances with that 6 machine. Still nurse it home. For Daniel Baldler, the final time through turns 6 and 7. For car number 6, Daniel Baldler will angle that number 6 off of turn number 7, and Daniel Baldler will win here at Watkins Glen. Straight to celebrating. As the drivers still come across the line. This is not, this could be a little dangerous. Drivers are still finishing the race. And he's disqualified himself. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I think there's been a crash. Kyle Johnson and Joe Ruggles have had a moment. Joe Ruggles, there is Joe Ruggles. Not sure if this is before or after the checkers. This is in the bus stop. And so Daniel Baldler got himself disqualified from the race. So I believe they're going to have to adjust the results. But that'll be interesting to see if it holds. So the results are going to say Dan Park's the winner once everyone crosses the line. But Daniel Baldler was celebrating his victory. And we'll see. I believe the officials should have no problem giving that back. But we shall see what the official ruling is. And we'll await. But there was a crash on the final lap between Kyle Johnson and Joe Ruggles. So Joe Ruggles, the last car to cross the line. You'll see Dan Park. His name will go up on the timing sheet once Ruggles crosses the line. I believe. There's Dan. Actually, not sure if it's going to change, but... There's Dan into the pit lane. We'll take a look at the last lap crash between Joe Ruggles and Kyle Johnson into the bus stop. Joe Ruggles has just driven through the 88 of Kyle Johnson. Not entirely sure what happened there. I mean, ran right through him. Wow. Not entirely sure what happened there. But Kyle Johnson will still finish 8th. I believe that's the last car on the lead lap. And, think there's anyone else left in the session. We're gonna do a quick rundown of the results, and then we are gonna go through our post race interviews. And so here are our race results here from Watkins Glen. It does show Dan Park as the winner, but we will wait for official word as Andrew Harris should be placed back, or not, excuse me. Daniel Baldler should be placed back in front of the official results. So it should say Baldler first, then Park, Dan Park, then Max Service, then Ben Park, then Lane Doyle, then Jason Green, then Bo Brady, then Kyle Johnson, then Robert Richardson, David Davis, Jay King, Joe Ruggles, and Andrew Harris. So they should have no problem. I shall be. They're waiting in the waiting room. So we will go ahead and have the opportunity to talk to our unofficial race winner. Oh, I guess we'll bring in JB real quick. I'm not sure what JB's doing. We're gonna talk to our unofficial race winner then, driver of the number 6 in Daniel Baldler. And Daniel, what a race! What a defensive masterclass, you could call it there. In that really the entire race, but especially at the final stint. It's 2 teammates against 1, and you outsmart maybe the very, very pressing attack that the Park Brothers Racing duo was putting on you. En route to your first win this season, Daniel, tell us about it.
Oh man, that was intense. That was one of the best races I think I've had on iRacing. Yeah, I just knew on that first run, I tried to let Dan go and thought maybe I'd save tire on him. And then as that run went on, I was like, man, we're just like really even. And so I thought I probably better try to jump him on pit road, and then maybe I could do the same thing to him that he did to me there. And it ended up working out. It was going to be really interesting there the last 8 laps or so that we were going to have. I think all 3 of us screwed up a little bit going into one there, and it just ended up benefiting me the most, I guess.
It certainly looked like there was a lot of mind games, a lot of moving around and lane choice going into turn 1. What did you see in that instance? I know you weren't even really directly involved, but it was a battle around you. I don't know if you had any thoughts or what you saw from it.
Oh, I knew I got through 6 and 7 really bad, and Dan was going to be trying to look for the inside there, so I just tried to protect, and he went back to the outside, so I tried to get as best arc as I could, and I completely missed a shift going into 1 and was locked up, and I looked in the mirror to see where they were, so I didn't clean them out, and I saw the 7 sideways. So from there I just tried to baby it home and not wreck myself.
Well, there you are, Daniel, with your first career win on the season. Today you'll lead, I believe it's 31 laps in total en route to victory out of 50. So a very dominant performance today on the one lone road course on the calendar. Coming up next is Milwaukee. Tell us your thoughts and how you look at the season now that you have a win in your back pocket.
Yeah, I don't know. Milwaukee, I haven't really ran Milwaukee all that too much on here, but I don't know, should be interesting. A little flat, and probably be some tire saving there. So I expect Max and Dan to be pretty quick again, and maybe even Andrew. So be a lot of quick guys there. Should be a fun race.
Certainly should be for the 6 machine. For Daniel Baldler, congratulations on your first win on the season. This one's on a roadie here at Watkins Glen. And Daniel Baldler, the dominant driver tonight with 31 laps led. Congratulations and best of luck to you next time out at Milwaukee.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And that was V6 of Daniel Baldler. Again, our race winner tonight here from Watkins Glen. We'll now head on down to second place finisher, driver of the number 7 in Dan Park. And Dan, I know that one hurts, man. That was a very, very hard fought race. Tell us about it, man.
Yeah, it was definitely a disappointing finish. I feel like I had that one won. Made a good move on Bottler to make him overdrive the corner, not knowing Max was going to overdrive me.
Understandably,
I did everything I could to run him back down. Went from 5.5 seconds to 1.5 at the end.
Yeah, it was quite the drive for sure. Um, what did you see in that whole scenario? And I know you were there with Max in the Discord. I don't know if you guys had a chance to talk about it. Um, what did you see? And we'll hear from Max also his side. But what did you see, and what ultimately happened?
So I was more watching in front of me, watching Bottler, and then like he making the moves to block me and all that, and I started breaking my normal spot. I knew he was going to overdrive the corner, and so I moved back to the line and looked in my mirror and saw Max coming at an outrageously fast pace. I was like, "This is gonna hurt."
Well,
So I
Dan,
locked it down and let it slide.
still a very good showing for you tonight. And the lone road course on the calendar, you get the pole in stunning fashion. The last lap ran in qualifying was your lap, and it goes provisional pole. You led 17 laps, and it was a very, very good performance from the 7 machine. I know obviously not the result you wanted the victory. But again, just more to stack. I know as for someone looking for their first career win in SRN, there's not much more you want to stack. You just want the win. But coming up is Milwaukee, and if I recall, we had you on the podium the last time we went to Milwaukee. What do you feel about it? What do you think are your chances there?
I've always liked Milwaukee, so hopefully I can go out there and put on a good show from like I did tonight. I put on a heck of a drive. I was
You certainly
so
did.
fast early, and I was like, once I started making stupid mistakes in front of Bottler once I got the lead, and I got that slowdown penalty, and then he pit, and I was like, dude, he's gonna have me when we come out the pits because of that slowdown penalty. But I did all I could to run him back down, battling. It just wasn't enough.
Was enough. I know, Dan, that feels like it's the story of your life here, man. But it's coming, man. Congratulations again on your second place finish tonight here from Watkins, Glen. Best of luck to you coming up here at Milwaukee.
Thanks. I gotta thank Michael Steele for the paint, Steel Graphics and Design. My teammates Max and Lane was still great finishes for the team. Can't complain. Gotta shout out my dad, whose name will always be on my car. My mom watching, and my brother, and just family. It's all this is about to me. Running for the fam.
It certainly feels that way, Dan. Once again, congratulations on your second place finish tonight here from Watkins, Glen, and best luck to you at Milwaukee, man.
Thanks.
And that was second place finisher and one of the two Park Brothers Racing duo in the podium spots. We'll talk to our third place finisher, driver of the number 81 in Max Service. And man, that thing looked quick. And we'll get to the incident here in a moment. But first, that second stint, it just looked like you shot out of a cannon, completely different to your first stint and any confidence you had going into the race. What happened in that second stint after the pit stop?
I started listening to my own advice. I had said it all practice. I taught Dan how to run this place, and I was not running it that way. And then after the pit stop, or right before the pit stop, I started getting a little braver in the bus stop and started picking up a ton of time there. And it kind of made up for my lack of abilities in all the other corners, and I kind of figured out the penultimate corner, and that kind of let me get some lap time into this thing. But before then, it was looking real ugly. I mean, I suck here. This thing's plowing tight, and it's not exactly my strength on a road course. But started to figure it out a little bit, and it definitely got better.
It certainly got better up until the point the Park Brothers disaster class that was in turn 1. What did you see? What happened? And did you talk to Dan about it?
I can't tell you how many times I've apologized. Yeah, I was honestly just sitting there riding, just gonna let them figure it out. hit my braking point where I normally would, just to not run them over in the braking zone. And with all their blocking, it just slowed them up enough that Dan was it wasn't enough. And I tried everything I could to not hit him. Locked up, tried to put myself in the wall, just didn't have the time to do it. Yeah, that one hurts. I feel awful for him, because I think he definitely wins this race.
It looked like he had the pace to, for sure. But for you, Max, I guess to get a little selfish, the finishes have been great for this 81 machine. It's another podium for you. On top of the 2 wins you've had this season, with the win last week I wasn't here for, but that you kind of stole from Butler with his heartbreak on pit road. Shaping up a very good season for this 81 machine. You mentioned to me before, while you lead the series in incident points, you do lead the series in point standings as well. The points you want. I'm sure you stacked up your incident points tonight to the max. But as far as the point standings, you continue to hold your advantage there. I'm sure you lose a couple out to Baldler here with this one, but the season's shaping up pretty well as we head to the midway point next week at Milwaukee. What's say about Milwaukee and your outlook on the season if it continues the same way?
I would like to think I'm pretty good at Milwaukee, so that should go okay. Yeah, came in here tied for the lead in incident points, picked up 23 more, so we are clear sailing in that category. But yeah, just gonna keep trying to get consistent finishes, and also we made JBR whole for last week. They had 2 cars in contention speed on pit road and let a Park Brothers car win the race, and this week 2 Park Brothers cars crashed and let a JBR car win. So I guess we went tit for tat there.
Yeah, like it's even. Oh man. Well, congratulations, Max, on the 3rd place finish tonight. I know you feel awful about how it turned out there in the end for your teammate and just overall the way it ended. But nonetheless, still over half the season to go. Coming up next with Milwaukee. Best of luck to you then, and hopefully we're talking to you, man.
Yeah, hopefully.
There it is. That is driver of the number 81, our 3rd place finisher tonight from Watkins, Glen International. And that is their thoughts, the top 3 thoughts on the conclusion of tonight's race. All 3 of them, again, were in contention for the victory up until 8 laps to go. And then it was no mas. It was the point where everyone kind of got together there in the battle into turn 1. They all kind of described it. You can take another look at it, but ultimately it was the point that led to the race kind of not even unraveling, just coming apart for Park Brothers. As opposed to the week before, it was the JBR dominance in the Park Brothers car won, as Max said. So here we go. You see Baller going to defend the advance from Dan. Dan braking, returning to the racing line, and Max trying to slow down, but not enough, into the rear end of the teammate. And they both go careening off the track. Dan off of driver's right, Max into the guardrail. Unfortunate for both of them. And somehow Baller avoids all the chaos as it comes rolling in his rear view mirror. But as far as for tonight, that should do it. We're going to go through, we're going to give a shout out once again to our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Of course, a huge shout out to Admin Box, which of course is built by iRacers for iRacers, with the plan to make race control as simple as possible, as easy as possible, excuse me. And you can use code SRN-box, that's BOXX, to save 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. Zoza's Miniatures is a home-based hobby and craft business that brings the small world to the big stage with handcrafted, homemade-to-scale items such as wholly furnished dollhouses for display or play, dollhouse kits from base level ready to furnish, dollhouse furnishings, custom jewelry, 3D printing services, laser cutting and etching services, and custom seasonal decor. They have a lot. You can check them out at zozominiatures.etsy.com and on Instagram. Make sure you use offer code iRacing20 to to save 20% off of your purchase from Zozo's Miniatures. A shout out to Thermopro, producing the best wireless meat thermometers and digital hygrometers for household use. Before establishing their brand, Thermopro supplied some of the largest brands you see in the market today, working behind the scenes as the manufacturer. Now they provide customers with top quality products at very competitive prices without sacrificing functionality or quality. You can use code ThermoProTeam to save 15% on your order. And Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Established in 2016, they offer many different options to help take your sim racing career to the highest levels of iRacing with over 50,000 customers worldwide. They have got the tools you need to compete with the best sim racers iRacing has to offer, and you can use code SPEEDNETWORK15 to save 15% off of your order. And so, as far as for us, I'll make sure you check out our social media outlets, our Facebook, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our X page, of course the YouTube page where you're watching. Drop a like and subscribe, and check out the website with all sorts of news, schedules, points, and rule book, and how to join and the like is waiting for you at speedracingnetwork.com. And that'll do it tonight from Watkins, Glen International. Thanks for spending your evening with us and being a part of all the action. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Next Tuesday night, the Speed Racing Network SGD series heads into the Milwaukee Mile for round 6 on the season, and you won't want to miss it. For everyone at Speed Racing Network, Cody and myself, Emerson Arden, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.